Hey, I'm Andrew from Aeroe, so we're based in New Zealand. And what you're looking at is a spider rear rack. And what makes Aeroe really unique is we have a really clever rack that will fit any bike. It does that. We've got rotation in here, so it's going to fit any seat stay. We've got adjustment in here, so that's going to come up and fit any wheel size. So if you want your kids on a 20-inch right through to a 29-inch, it's also going to fit a new 32-inch. Whole rack will spin through 180 degrees. You got 4 points of attachment in here, so again, it's going to fit any size seat stay, skinny and wide. And then all you're doing is you're building out modules. So maybe Monday to Friday, you want to be commuting, you put on a pannier receiver. In the weekend, I'm doing more off-road riding. So again, you're just building your bike up like Lego for your next adventure. That's Aeroe in a nutshell.
Mate, which website?
So you can find us at www.aeroe.com. That's AEROE.com.
All right, Jason with Abbey Bike Tools with a couple of new items that we've got at Otter, and one that we launched last summer that we haven't shared with you guys yet before. So that tool's the new chainwear tool. So we call that the double L for linear and lateral. So linear wear is basically traditional stretch. Lateral wear is side to side, so how floppy your chain is. So what we've noticed since one by has become so prevalent with anything but traditional road bikes is that the chains get really loose and then they don't shift as well. So here we've got a chain that was used in a one by application. So if we measure this guy out, we line the pin up with the edge of the boss here, and we're just letting gravity do its thing. How much sag do we have here? If we're below this 6 mark, we recommend replacement due to shift quality. What you'll also notice is that when we flip this chain over and we go to measure linear wear, or what we'd call traditional stretch, that this guy is really about 0.25% worn. So this is a chain that we wouldn't replace due to traditional stretch, but because it's got so much lateral play, it's not going to shift well, and that's why it was ultimately taken out of service. The other big thing with our double L chain tool is that we use a V-notch for the origin of our chain roller. So with all the new flat top chains, that chain has a larger roller diameter, and it wreaks havoc with everybody else's chainwear tools and produces a lot of error in that tool. Since we capture both sides of the roller, we actually know where the center is, which is what we care about for chainwear. How much of a difference is that? Is it splitting hairs? Like, it absolutely is splitting hairs, but it can be the difference between replacing just a chain and an entire drivetrain. So the financial impact of that can be pretty notable. So those guys are available now, $45 US. The other two tools that we've got are our shop use crombies and whips. So these are items that have been kind of off menu for a while for our ambassador team, and then we've decided to make them available to the public. So the cromby tool really is just a bigger, longer handle with an ESI silicone grip on it. We do a full heat-treated construction on these guys. And then on the whip, we've got a little bit more going on. We do a thicker tang, so you can see that these get milled down for the whip. That extra thickness gives us more stiffness, and then it also fully supports the chain. So you can kind of see that that width is a little bit wider than the chain. Speaking of the chain, we use a KMC E-pin chain. So it's from their e-bike range, and it's basically got more chain pop strength, so those things stay together. We also added a couple of magnets. So we've got a magnet band on the tube for storage. So that guy kind of stays tucked up out of the way. Pretty simple little deal. And then the magnet on the tail, so you can wrap that guy around the cassette and put it up there to make it a little more secure. Or you could just attach it to the steel cassette cog, which is the majority of those. Last new tool, my personal favorite. I was definitely a wheel building focused tech when I was in the resale side of the bike world. So we're finally releasing our spoke wrench. So these guys have an aluminum upper with a hardened steel insert in the bottom. We're going to do these in 3-sided, which are available now. And then we're waiting on some tooling back at the shop that we had to custom make. And then we'll do 4-sided tools in the near future. So, yeah. Website's abbybiketools.com.
Mate, how is that bike stuck to the side of this caravan. Trendsetters meet the Allen Smart Suction Bike Rack. Now, suction is not a new concept, it is proven, don't freak out. But what makes this suction rack different from others is it is intelligent. You might notice there's an on-off switch there. Basically, this thing pairs to your phone, so should the suction break, it'll send an alert to the app. Here is the app. Hopefully it's in sort of focus.
And then if you can get it.
Look at that. So we just broke the suction, warning, device not secure. So that means freak out, stop, and pump up the suction. No other suction bike rack offers that. It's a pretty interesting product because I'll tell you one thing. I cannot stand bike racks hanging off the back of my car. This is my kind of bike rack. Learn more at allen.bike.
Hi, my name's Brick and I'm with BiSaddle, but let me show you why it's so different. You know, so we've got, right now we got 8 different models, and so we're always improving, always designing, and trying to build upon the last saddle, you know, make it better. We really rely on customer feedback to really improve and dial in the saddles. And so what's unique about BiSaddle is that it's a system, so that every single model is interchangeable. So what makes it, you have 4 bolts on the bottom, so you can make the saddle and mimic any saddle, make it an infinite number of adjustments. And it's really nice because you can accommodate for asymmetry, and it's awesome for preventing long-term health issues. But you can have one frame and then choose any top, and they all work together. So it's one saddle system, and it really should be the last saddle you ever need.
Website.
The website is bisaddle.com.
So my name's Ewan Campbell, and I'm the Cadex Global Marketing Manager for Product Marketing Communications. And what we're launching today is the Cadex Amp 3D saddle, based on the same shape as our already acclaimed Amp saddle, with the quick drop on the wings here, making sure you've got plenty of room for pedaling. With the Amp 3D, what we've done is we've increased support and been able to fine-tune that support from firm to very firm here in the power zone, to slightly softer here as the rider scoots back and into a more comfortable position for a longer ride. The 3D amp here is created with what we call a gyroid structure. So gyroid structure are intersecting wavy lines that create a structure here that allows for better support across the surface area at a lighter weight. So really the key takeaway here is support at a lighter weight. Website is www.cadexcycling.com, and from there you'll find all of our product lineup, which includes wheels, saddles, handlebars, integrated and standard, stems, and a full line of tires also.
Hello, I'm Damian from Darimo Carbon from Spain, and we are making one of the lightest products in the world, and we are specialized in making not standard parts, okay? Then actually we have a huge range of not round seat posts. Maybe you have your factor or stroke gravel bike, and you can change the seat post and you can put all one. Okay, Envy, Cannondales, we have a huge range on not round seat post, and we are increasing that range. And then we have handlebars, integrated handlebars.
Because I saw you have a lot for Pinarello.
Aeros, and we have many options in them. We have the straight one, 6 degrees flare, and even we have options with 16 degrees flare and 5 degrees flare out. Even in this version, this not as aero, and even we have this more aero version with this flare shape. Okay. We make all in-house in Spain, out to order. Then if you need something stiffer, you can ask for something reinforced, okay? And even we are making aluminum stems. Look. Even we can personalize with your name, make in any kind of length and angle. Even crazy thing like 40 degrees stems, okay? We just try to make what the client needs without thinking if it will sell a lot or not, just to focus on the client.
What is your website?
Our website is www.darimo.eu.
Welcome to Deda Elementi. Not everybody is familiar with this brand. I've been fortunate to ride these components on a recent review bike, the Officina Battle in Pave, which was fitted out with these lovely components, namely the C-post there. And you might notice some of the accessories available for that. This is the carbon setback and not setback, zero setback. And we have some interesting handlebars. This is the handlebar that was on the bike that I just mentioned, the Super Zero Gravel Carbon. Not too crazy on the flare. And below we have its aluminium alloy version. Then we have the Aeroe Carbon beneath that, which is a rather interesting handlebar, to say the least. And beneath we have the aluminium version of the Aeroe. And down here some forks as well. The Aeroe Curvy DCR, which is set up for bike packing with additional fork mounts, and the Aeroe EDG DCR. This is DMT, another very well-known brand of Italian shoes. I have reviewed a pair of their mountain bike / gravel shoes a couple of years ago. You can check that out, linked in the description below, but these are their mountain bike, gravel lineup, etc. This is interesting. This is basically like a time trial shoe, it seems. Welcome to the Enduro Bearings booth. In life, you'll find the performance of many bicycles is often led down by some dodgy bearings. But those problems are solved by products such as the Max Hit here by Enduro Bearings. Lifetime warranty on these bearings, amazing stuff. And over here we have the XD15 bearing, which is a ceramic hybrid, and I believe there's a lifetime warranty on that as well. So when you're talking about a headset bearing or a bottom bracket bearing, that's the part of the bike where you really should consider installing these types of bearings. And with today's integrated front ends, it just makes sense to install this sort of bearing, set and forget. Range of tools, bearing presses, etc. You have to love nice tools like this.
We've got a bunch of new tools here that we're bringing in to expand the functionality of our BRT linear press, the BRT 060 that we introduced last year. That came with all the standard guides and a couple press rods for hubs and suspension. And to add functionality to that, we added a few new parts, the BRT 040, which allows you to remove and replace bearings in bottom brackets, all three common sizes, as well as removing and replacing bearings for hub sets that have axle guides. I have an i9 torch hub here. I'm just gonna pull it apart a little bit so that we can utilize the axle to ease those bearings out of the hub. I like to use a blind hole puller as my end cap puller, so I don't have to use a vise for that. It's pretty simple. You just expand it within the cap and give it a little wiggle and a push with your fingers. You can see it again here. Tighten it down. You just have to go finger tight, make sure it's solid in there, and pulls right off. It's so easy. It makes life so much simpler. So now that I have the caps off, I can just simply pull up the free hub body. And what I'm going to do for this demo is just remove that disc side bearing. And what we have is a few different cups that come with this BRT 40 kit, and this is available as, you know, just a hub kit, or just the bottom bracket kit, or the whole kit, or just individual sizes. for 24, 29, and 30. You can mix and match however you want. But we're going to use the hub kit right now, and what it does is comes with a series of cups. One that is designed to interface specifically for 6-bolt, and you can see it locks in right there to keep everything straight when we're using the hub press to push the axle through from the other side. What I like to do is take a small guide from the other side to get me down to that 8mm, locks it in place, keeps everything perfectly centered. I can slide the hub press rod through, and then utilizing this cup that interfaces with the nut from the rod, it just snaps in place. I want to make sure it's perfectly centered. There. And then if you just hold the cup, you can turn the handle until it is free.
It's so simple.
And so it just utilizes the mechanical advantage of the threads to ease that bearing out. And you know, with our bearings, we have a number of bearings that have, you know, multi-year warranties or even lifetime warranties. So in that case,
C15.
yeah, you just want to be able to take the bearing out. If it's a little gritty, you can just pop the seals and clean it out. And yeah, that's it. So there's also the version that works, you know, there's 6-bolt, center lock, and then if I combine it with this extender, I can do it on the drive side.
What's the website?
That would be cycling.endurobearings.com.
E13 cassette options. Let's check those out. 9 to 52, 12 speeds, 578% range. Then we have a 13 to 52, 12 speed. 9 to 50, 12 speed. Optimized for gravel, as they call it here. 9 to 45, 12 speed. And then 9 to 46 for 11 speed. And one more important detail, these cassettes work with XD or XDR. If you're going to use XD, being the mountain bike standard, you need that little spacer for these cassettes to work. And that's, again, E13.